This is Ranking of Video Games Part 6, Lara Croft Tomb Raider. I'm Colton, joined by Quinn and Kudrow.
Yo.
Hey guys.
So this is the show where we review and then rank video game movies in our ultimate tier list of video game movies. We've kind of been working through the different series. We're through Mortal Kombat, and now we're starting into the Tomb Raider series.
Yeah, so I guess I'll get started. It's from 2001 with Angelina Jolie as Lara Croft. I'll give a little bit of a plot line here. The orphaned, heiress, and intrepid archaeologist Lara Croft embarks on a dangerous quest to retrieve the two halves of an ancient artifact which controls time before it falls into the wrong hands. As an extremely rare planetary alignment is about to occur for the first time in 5,000 years, the fearless Tomb Raider will have to team up with rival adventurers and sworn enemies to collect the pieces while time is running out. But in the end, who can harness the archaic talisman's unlimited power? So, me and Kudrow were kind of talking before, and I said this is Uncharted, but 2001.
Yeah, I could see some similarities.
Obviously, less video quality options there in 2001, especially CGI, as we're used to with Mortal Kombat. So anyway,
Tomb Raider is 2001's Uncharted, which is 1980s Raiders.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, very, very much some Indiana Jones feels.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
which means I'm pretty sure Colton's gonna hate it.
Everything's all happening at once all the time.
Just keeps too many chase scenes.
That's not nearly as many chase scenes in this.
No,
but I'm sure you hated them.
It tries to do weird, interesting things that don't work instead.
Spoiler.
Okay, let's get into the plot line here. Through the whole entire movie. So I took notes kind of during the movie with kind of each scene style. So it should be pretty good and pretty in depth. So Lara Croft opens up with Lara Croft hanging down from like the ceiling on a rope. And she lands inside a tomb and kind of like runs away. And then she's like, I don't know, we kind of get a look at Lara Croft as like her video game character because she has her guns and like it, like goes through that and just trying to show her, she's this badass with two guns.
Look how badass and hot she is.
Exactly. And then like there's like this random machine there, like this like chrome.
Very random,
right? And you're supposed to think she's in a tomb. Well, I don't know. They're trying to do something weird. One of those things that was weird that didn't work for me. She starts fighting the machine, and then it's getting all intense because she's like, "Oh, is she gonna live? Is she gonna die?" And obviously, she lives. And then it comes to find out, she walks like out of the temple.
Training simulator,
right? Yep. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like a training simulator,
but like right in the middle of her house,
right?
Like it's a central part of her house.
She's got a big house.
That was weird. That was just weird to me. That I don't know. I get what they were trying to do, but to me it didn't work. Anyway, she walks away, and we get a shower scene of, well, she's not only a badass fighter, she's a hot woman.
Yeah,
that's essentially what we get, which wasn't necessary in my opinion, but
yeah, that shower scene was several seconds too long.
I'm sure she got paid very well, but like, yeah, that was, I don't know. Anyway, so then we skip to a scene in Venice that gives us an overlay on the screen that says Venice, I think. Venice, Italy, which is the place in Italy, the city in Italy with all the canals and the gondolas. And then we get in like some conference or like, I don't know, the conference was the first thing that came to my mind because it just seems so like corny. or a
Illuminati cult
conference.
meeting.
Sorry, a conference. It
Yeah.
felt like a conference. It didn't feel like it was. I don't know. It wasn't as mysterious as I thought it should have been, but
Yeah.
it was very weird. It zooms in and then they're going their stuff or whatever.
Breakfast will be in the other room. Get it like a conference, like it was an Illuminati conference, and then this guy comes up to the podium and he's like, "Sorry, they ran out of everything bagels, but we got some flavored cream cheese to make up for it. That'll be in room 2B down the hall.
Oh no!
Stay tuned later for our seminar on enlightenment and following the path of light."
Is that what they do?
I don't know.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe I'm bashing this movie too much already because I feel like
You're bashing it before you even got the plot out there.
Tell us how you really feel about.
Well, I'll be a little more neutral. Sorry. Anyways, they have like their little meeting, which I wasn't really too focused on. So like I didn't really care about it because I knew what was kind of happening already. It was like, oh, there's some artifact that they need to steal or something.
Right.
Or that they need to get a hold of. And here's the bad guy. And he's got a weird lawyer kid.
So Jorah Mormont, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know the actor's name.
Anyway, they do their conference. They figure out what their goal is, which is this. I think they reference triangle, I believe. So we kind of get an idea that it's something to do with a triangle, Illuminati triangle. Very nice fit. But other than that, we really don't know much about this artifact. And then we go back to Lara Croft, and she's like sitting at her desk, and the butler comes in with like some dockets or some, I don't know, mission files or contracts, maybe. I don't know. What is a Tomb Raider like? Is that like an archaeologist for hire or what? I don't know.
It's like unimportant to the overall plot. It's just kind of like, here's some things.
I feel like the difference between the archaeologist is all about like discovery and like, or well, supposed to be. You're not Indiana Jones. You're supposed to be like preserving the ruin and such. The Tomb Raider just seems to plunder it, basically.
Right.
So, again, kind of like Indiana Jones.
So like, I don't know. I felt like I was like focused on those for some reason. I don't know why. But it's just a opening scene to allude to that today is the 15th or the 15th of a month.
Right. That was really weird. The 15th of a month. It's like what's wrong with the 15th? So I was like, wait, so the 15th of every month?
Right.
That was unclear to me if like she meant the 15th of May. They should have specified that because I thought the same thing.
I'm pretty sure it was just a month. Like every month, like
every month on the 15th.
Well, no, because like I mean, if you took a scene further, it's like you see the father's tombstone, and I don't remember the exact date, but it was
May
like
15th.
Something the 15th.
It was May 15th.
But I'm pretty sure she just meant that. Like it was just
May
like
15th.
the anniversary of her father's death.
You're probably right. We'll let that one slide.
But yeah, there really wasn't like, I don't know.
It didn't really tell you what was going on
up
to that point. Like it kind of just, you're watching things happen, like Tomb Raider things, and like, look how hot she is. Like, look at this shirt she's wearing that's really tight. And then they're like, it just like for a good half hour, that's all you got.
Yeah. So yeah, we find out her dad went missing on the 15th. Come to find out, like Kudrow said, he's dead. Which is kind of alluded to. Mm-hmm. So, and then we skip to the next scene where Laura's on a telescope. Laura's asleep and dreaming, like about her dad. So like that was to set up the dreaming scene of like her relationship with her dad and like how they have like a really good close relationship and that their time was too short and all that. Gives Lara Croft a purpose.
One thing that is interesting about the characters is that like the character who plays Angelina Jolie's dad, what's the guy's name? Jon Voight. Yeah, that's actually Angelina Jolie's actual father.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
So they got the real life mother and father portraying the fictional mother and father. So it's like, I'll give them credit for the casting. That's a nice touch.
Interesting. I
good.
didn't know that.
But
What-
yeah, her dad's relationship, and he's also the dad in National Treasure.
Yep. Yep.
What's his name?
No,
Ben something.
Little
Nicolas
random
Cage's character.
little random cutaway there, but yeah.
Sorry.
So after she figures out she's sad about her, after we figure out she's sad about her dad, right? We get into the scene where she's like bungee dancing before bedtime.
Oh yeah, that was weird.
Oh,
That's like
you don't do your bungees before sleeping? I mean, I got mine set up in the hallway.
oh, right, because that's like
Why?
where I don't know. There's bungee dancing because she has that magical artifact, which she found at the beginning.
Well, yeah, because she woke up, she had the dream with her dad, then she found the magical clock,
The
Right.
clock, yeah.
which she
'Cause
then
it's-
just proceeded to bash with a hammer until she found the artifact within it. And then she
Right.
went to go see this like artifact dealer who could like, hey, I can't tell you much about this, but you know who can? This shady dude. And then she shows the picture to the shady dude. Now the shady dude's like, I'm gonna kill her and take that clock.
Right, everyone's out together because of her magical clock.
Yep.
Yeah, because we need it for the artifact. And then he has to end up like has multiple meetings with Powell, the bad guy.
Mhm.
And they can't come to an agreement. And so then she knows it's in Cambodia somehow. I forget why.
Yeah, so she knows it's in Cambodia because after like she gets essentially when she's doing her bedtime bungeeing, her house gets broken into by like a squad of militaristic people trying to take the clock from her. So she goes through the scene where she talks to her tech guy. Her tech guy's name was Bryce, right? Yeah, the tech guy's like talking to her while she's like shooting at people in her house, and then she gets on a motorcycle and like escapes from her house while shooting people riding her motorcycle. Um yeah, and then she makes her way to Cambodia after that, correct?
Well, technically yes, but I believe it wasn't until after she got that letter the following morning.
Oh, that told her where to go.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
like
there's opposite ends of the earth.
yeah. Then you got that whole backstory, the triangle of light that can manipulate
Right,
time, which
right.
led to this destruction
And
of
then-
this
and
ancient civilization.
This is like the first point in the movie where I felt like there was any idea what was going on. Like it felt very just like kind of just random things going on up until this point where it really told you what the movie was going towards.
Yeah, it was very clunky up to that point for sure.
Right. And it just kind of lays it all out.
Yeah, so now she knows where to go from the letter, like Kudrow said. So she has to go to Cambodia, and she has to do it in 15 hours because of the planetary alignment.
Yeah, there's like she's got a time clock.
There's like a very like short window where you can get the triangle fragment, and it only happens every 5,000 years.
Right.
So
something like that, yeah.
So she has 15 hours to do it, and she has to go to Cambodia, and she's like, I'll just call in a favor from my old military buddies. And then
No problem.
Showed a picture of the military buddies for like way too long. Like it felt like they were trying to like show that we would be meeting them or something.
Right.
I don't know. To me, that's how it felt. And then no, they just gave her a parachute down in Cambodia.
Just cuts right to her dropping with her load out.
Yeah. And she's able to land in the Cambodian forest, no problems, with a big ass Jeep. But then one of the weirdest scenes I thought was when it cuts to the temple or wherever Powell is the bad guy is, and he's obviously going to where Laura needs to be as well. And all the workers are like pulling the ropes, and they're like they're not even pulling them. They're just swinging their arm. So I was like, what is going on? It was just so weird.
Yeah.
But anyway, somehow they pull the wall down with the help of Daniel Craig.
I was about to say, I feel like that right there is like, I mean, you see him in the shower scene later, and this dude's pretty ripped, so
Yeah.
I feel like Daniel Craig just did all that work by himself.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, we kind of got a taste of I think his name was West, right? His last name
So
was West.
Alex West is played by Daniel Craig, is like this other Tomb Raider guy, and then he's teamed up with Manfred Powell, who's the evil guy we were talking about before, and he's played by Ian Glenn, who I was referring to, Sir Jorah Mormont from Game of Thrones. But yeah, so that's you kind of in that first tomb is where you get your, I don't know, first real meaty dialogue. You get more dialogue with Alex, who's set up as like her rival, the character played by Daniel Craig.
Right. They're like rivals, but also they have there's like a sexual tension, obviously.
Right.
Between them. But anyway, so he's there, and then they make their way in. Lara Croft is able to like drive through the forest.
No problem.
No issues. Perfectly wide openings to drive through. Anyway, she makes it to the temple, obviously, is able to come in to the temple from a different direction.
Right.
She starts like hallucinating a child, and the child leads her to some jasmine on the wall. And then there happens to be a sinkhole below the jasmine that she falls through into the temple, which her rope climbing skills like really are able to help her because she grabs onto a vine or a root from something above.
Yeah.
So she makes it in, and she's like being all quiet, and Alex West is trying to figure out where the triangle is, and they're about to put the clock in the wrong spot, and Lara Croft's like, no, you need to put it in this spot. And he's like, well, why would I trust you? And she's like, because we're both trying to do it, or I don't know.
Yeah, basically she's like, because I'm right and you don't want to wait 5,000 years.
Right. Yeah, snarky line.
Right.
And so he throws it, and she catches it, obviously. And then she puts it in the correct spot, which makes the swords. Or no.
It like
they
releases
put the swords in, and then they put the clock in, and then it released like a log that was swinging towards this big cauldron of green liquid,
magic liquid.
Right. It doesn't pierce it, so Laura like jumps on it to give it more momentum, breaks it open. We get a bright like white flash, and then there's like this like silvery. I can't say it. Silvery.
Yeah. Magic
slime that like slides out
and
then goes to the middle, and then the triangle's there, and then Lara Croft grabs it on her way by swinging it just before the other guy does, and then she managed to escape somehow, and there was like some fights with the gargoyle stone,
like some stone creatures of some kind,
stone soldiers, which was like a big fight scene. So I didn't think it was terrible. The CGI wasn't the best, but
I thought that was one of the best scenes of the movie. I thought that was like I thought that fight scene was actually okay. And I thought, I don't know, I guess I felt like if the CGI of the stone creatures was better than any other CGI in the movie.
I don't know. I don't know if I'd call it good, but there are a couple moments I appreciated. Because, like, you have, like, the moment where Jorah Mormont, like, one of the creatures throws a sword at him, so he just takes, like, one of his own men, puts it in front of him.
Right.
So you're kind of further establishing that this dude's an utter piece of garbage. And then you actually have the direct, it seemed like a Raiders of the Lost Ark call-out, where it's, like, the stone monkeys doing, like, this flourishes with the sword, and then Lara Croft just pulls out the gun and shoots them.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess that was fun, but I don't know. Other than that, I can't really say this fight scene stood out too much.
Gotcha. Yeah, so the fight scene ends because Lara Croft is able to escape the monkey that's chasing her. and then she makes it to a waterfall, and Alex West is there, and he's like, I can't let you leave. And she's like, oh, well, you're gonna shoot me? And then she dives off, and it's perfectly fine, diving off like a 200-foot waterfall.
I don't think it was 200 feet.
It was pretty high.
I guess it's just very fortunate that the pool of water there was apparently deep enough.
Eroded enough, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No
But
sharp
then
rocks at the bottom of it.
right. Then she's boating around in this village in Cambodia, and she finds some monks, and the monks help her, and they give her magical healing stuff that heals her wounds, and essentially like pray with her, and then the monk's like, oh, I knew your dad. She's like, oh, my dad. And then everything comes flooding back, obviously.
I definitely got to figure out what the hell's in that tea.
Right. So she has one piece of the artifact. So obviously Powell, oh, forgot to mention, Powell has the
clock. Yeah.
Right. They got the clock. Lara got the triangle, or half of the triangle. So like they need each other essentially, which is brought up numerous times. And they realize
they need each other.
Right.
Essentially,
they're like
they
on
go
a phone call, right?
Yeah, they go through the whole thing where like, they don't trust each other, but they both need each other. And Laura shows up, but she doesn't have the thing with her. And he's like, of course, you're too smart for that. And eventually they agree to team up to get the last piece, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was going to move on. So I was...
yeah.
You go
for it.
Say.
No, you're good.
I was just going to say, how did they figure out it was Russia again?
I don't...
Siberia?
I figured that was from that initial thing, 2 sides of the Earth, and that I thought that told her where to go.
Oh, and it was at the crater of the meteor, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah, from the story of the magical city where they had the triangle, but they abused the power and it blew up the whole city.
Right. So it's like, well, they're opposite ends of the Earth or whatever. So then they all go there together. They land in Siberia and they take the native people's dogs for cash. And then the Russian army shows up with some amphibious vehicles, so they can just drive around, go through the ice, like get wherever they need to go.
Right.
But then they end the dead zone, which is like where there's no radio communication. So then they have to ride the dogs into the crater. They show up at the crater. There's some cave system underneath. Leads them to a bell. Of course, Laura's like rings it. It shatters the ice wall next to them, and then they're into this, I don't know, very humid. It looked very hot and humid, like central. I don't know. It reminds me of like the center of the earth, like theory, or something like that. But anyway, before that, Lara Croft is wearing a thin T-shirt.
Are we gonna talk?
A thin,
yeah.
I don't know, tank top.
Oh
and
yeah,
they're like this like coat that wasn't even covering her.
Dude, this whole movie, like they're like, we really got to highlight Lara Croft's breasts, like in every scene. They're like, we're going to the ice cold. It's like, put them out there. And they just got the jacket with like just the T-shirt. Yeah, I saw it too. I'm like, wait a minute,
Siberia.
It looks so cold there. And I'm like, okay, what about? I'm like, she's gonna zip the jacket up later when they're like going into this on the dog sleds. Nope. She's still just got the jacket open.
Right.
I would argue this movie's probably most well known for the fan service.
Yeah.
There's my hot take. This movie's only good for the fan service.
I think that's a fair critique.
Yeah. It's.
But yeah, so like that was just a big one that I had to point out.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're also supposed to know that Lara Croft is having this like internal like debate on what to do. Like her 2 options, whether she like, just destroys it or helps. And then he hallucinates like another child who like says, "Oh, don't go there, like it's a mistake or whatever." Essentially,
right.
And then there's Jasmine there, so I don't know what it is with the Jasmine.
It's
makes you hallucinate, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know. It's
But
supposed to like trigger something. I think because her father showed it to her. It's
Yeah,
trying
the
to
whole
connect things.
yeah, the father said like you'll note the entrance of the tomb when you find the jasmine. But as
gotcha.
far as Ghost Girl is concerned, who knows?
Right. So now we kind of have that set up of like, oh, what's she gonna do? Is she gonna use it? Is she gonna destroy it? That sort of thing. So like,
Mhm.
I didn't really know what was gonna happen. Well, it left a little bit, I guess, for me,
Yeah.
but
Right.
I kind of figured what was gonna happen would
Yeah.
happen. So I think it did a good job in that department.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, so they go in and they're trying to find the triangle again because they're on a time crunch of 5,000 years.
Mhm.
And so Alex and Laura are like jumping around this giant like planetary structure that's spinning,
Mhm.
trying to figure out where the triangle is. And then Laura's like, "Oh, you can trust me. Like it's just literally the same scene from the beginning of the movie where they got the other one."
Right.
She says, "You need to trust me," and then they give the clock to her, and she puts it on the bottom of the Earth. I don't know. That was the Earth, right? Or no, that's
Yeah. I don't
the
something. I
sun.
don't.
The
Yeah.
sun. Not
Yeah,
the
I
Earth.
think so. Unless
It'd
you're
be the
going with
sun.
the geocentric theory of the
The
universe.
takeaway
No,
is Lara Croft
I
always
believe the
knows the
sun.
right thing to do in the
Right.
tomb. Yeah.
So then some magic happens. She gets sucked in, and then she gets popped out, and she has
Yeah.
the triangle.
Right.
So then the Illuminati came with them, and the Illuminati like starts to like, I don't know. He gets really excited. Like he has a speech. He needs to have a speech for this
Mhm.
moment as he's trying to put them together. Powell shoots him, gets rid of
Right.
him. Like he
Yeah.
was just, I don't know why he even brought him, just for funds.
Well, this was like his moment. The triangle's there. Now I'm gonna take over. Right. He's gonna
Mhm.
become the guy in the center chair that the leader of the cult.
Oh, to me, it didn't get any like info or not info. Like I don't know. It didn't seem like he even cared about the Illuminati at all. Like,
No, he just wanted the power of it, right? So he was like
Yep.
using them to.
right? I'm saying, why did the leader have to come if he doesn't care about the killing the leader? I guess is what I'm thinking. Maybe I'm reading too much into it.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure if there was something told where they were part of it. I'm not sure,
Hmm.
but yeah, I guess that's a good point. I don't know if they had mentioned anything earlier in the movie, but I,
Yeah.
that's a good question.
Anyway, that's not really
Oh,
too
yeah.
important.
I don't know. I guess the whole thing was like, the Illuminati wanted the triangle. He wanted the triangle for himself, so he kills the Illuminati. So he kills all the members of the Illuminati, so he can have the triangle for himself. So that's kind of
I
what
thought
I
he
took
wait, did
away
he
from
kill?
it.
I thought he just killed the leader.
Uh,
Was there other?
I thought
Either
I
that.
think
way,
it was just the leader.
Yeah. Either
he
way,
killed the
leader's
leader.
dead.
Yeah,
Leader wants the triangle. We can't have him having the triangle, so
yeah.
Powell kills leader, gets triangle for himself.
Mhm.
Right. And then Powell tries to use the triangle by putting them together, and nothing happens. And as we know it, Laura Croft has just the idea for you. There's these little blobs of like floating energy that like stop time.
Yeah.
So we saw the dog jump through earlier, and it showed us an X-ray of the dog, essentially,
Mhm.
the
It's
bones
a
and the
time storm
inside.
because
Yeah,
that's totally explained.
right. Um, so Laura obviously thinks, oh, we just need to throw the clock into one of those, and the magic key will pop out, or the
Right.
magic what I don't even know what it was, a liquid or
The
like
that
I don't know.
the thing you need.
Right, the obvious thing you need. So
Yeah.
she gets that, and then the whole like place changes, and the shit just goes down. Um, the triangle's put together, it's whole, and then
Mhm.
they're racing to the top of a pyramid to grab it,
Yep.
and
Her
Laura
against
Croft gets it
Manfred.
right. And of course, Laura gets there first. She's got the triangle. Um, but then they kind of get talking, and then Manfred throws a knife at Alex West, who that was the weird one to me too. He got stabbed, and then somehow he was was unconscious and then he was alive. It was like, how would you be?
Right. Yeah. But yeah.
He was getting crushed by the machine and he got a knife stabbed into him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It didn't seem very realistic, and I don't know. But obviously, the play was, oh, Lara has a connection to this Alex guy. Like, if something happens to Alex, she cares about him. She'll use the triangle essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And so then Laura uses the triangle, right?
Yeah, so Lara uses a triangle and she goes into like basically into some time storm, and she sees her father, and she talks to her father, and her father's like, uh is what it is. You got to destroy the object to save the world or whatever. So then she comes back out. She then goes back to like before Alex gets stabbed with the knife, and she goes to turn the knife around towards Manfred, but for some reason she grabs the blade to turn the knife around, which is one of the weirdest things in the movie. Why not just turn it with the handle? Anyway, she grabs the handle, so then the handle goes and hits Manfred instead of Alex. So then we've basically used the time triangle to go back in time, and after she turns the knife around, she shoots it, so it's destroyed, and she's destroyed the triangle, and she has saved Alex. So then they come out of that, right, and Manfred stabbed at this point, and the place is falling apart. Like destroying the triangle, I guess, makes the whole place kind of crumble down. So the place is coming down, and then everybody's leaving, and then Manfred's like, I don't know, wants Lara to come over to talk to him or something. But anyways, Alex leaves, and he's like, don't take too long or something. Then she walks over to Manfred, and of course he's not quite dead, so they're gonna fight. They're both holding guns at each other, and then he says no guns. They get rid of their guns and just have some hand-to-hand combat.
She ends it with a throat
punch. Let's
right.
fight like gentlemen.
Right. Yeah.
But the whole thing was that, and I don't remember what the significance of this was, but Manfred had like the like some necklace that was important to her.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah, because he taunted her with that.
Right. Yeah.
And then after the fight,
that's what it was. Right.
Throat punches him. She takes the pendant.
Or the pocket watch. Sorry, pocket watch.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, but afterwards, like, she takes that, and then we have cool sled dog scene out of the cave as it's collapsing.
Right, and her father revealed that Powell killed him. So there's like also that extra rage of
right. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, like Kudra said, her sled's destroyed, but she can use her feet as skis. So the sled dogs take her out of the cavern as it explodes, and then we're back at the house.
We did it.
Yeah. No XVAC. No nothing. Just we're back at the house.
So
she's dressed as a lady.
Oh, right, of course.
Yep, the white
and
dress.
Everybody's shocked.
I shouldn't say dressed like a lady because
it's offensive.
Well, apparently the movie's definition of a lady.
Yes,
right.
The movie. That's the movie was trying to tell you.
Thank you, Kudro.
But yeah, so I mean that's pretty much Tomb Raider, right? Should we do our hot takes at the beginning? Should we do our hot takes now?
Just do it now. Just let them rip.
All right. My hot take is that this whole movie wants to present to you how sexy of a character Lara Croft is, but the sexiest character in this movie is actually Alex West. That's my hot take. Did you see that shower scene? Did you see how ripped Daniel Craig was?
I mentioned it earlier. Yes.
I know. I couldn't. I was worried you were onto my hot take.
I already told you my hot take is that this movie's for the fan service and nothing else.
Right, but you're saying the fan service of Lara Croft. I'm telling you the sexiest character in this movie is actually Alex West.
Okay, you clearly don't know anything about fan service because fan service can be catered to both women or men. It doesn't necessarily have to be sexy ladies.
No, but the fan service would be for the character Lara Croft, right? Like that's like the thing with Tomb Raider.
Except that's also with Daniel Craig when you get like this naked shower scene.
Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think that's like fan service from like the point of like what Tomb Raider is.
I mean, as far as fan service goes, I mean, if it's like titillating or showing off a sexy bod, man or woman, then yeah, it's fan service.
I don't agree with that. Fan service is something that's specifically from the thing. Like it's like playing to the audience's, like it's a callback or a reference. Like Lara Croft like having huge breasts and showing them in t-shirts. That's like the thing. That's like PS1. Like
That
look
is
where
the game.
look where we spent all our pixels.
Spend all your pixels.
Anyways, that's my thoughts on it. But
You're wrong, but okay.
what's your hot take on this movie, Kudrow?
I already told you this movie is fan service. That's the only part of this movie that really makes it worth watching.
I'm gonna give that hot take a
shower
rating
scenes.
I'm gonna give that hot take a rating of weak sauce.
Ooh.
And coming from some, all right, what I already gave my fan service, and then you're
Uh-oh.
just sitting here confirming it. Like if I'm an E, you're definitely an F.
No, I just
Oh,
think
man.
that it's like not a hot take that the movie Tomb Raider was gonna have a lot of fan service in it. I feel like that's like a obviously the movie Tomb Raider is gonna have a lot of
I
fan
don't think.
service in it.
I mean, okay, look, I've never played a Tomb Raider game. Obviously, like we know the standard, and we know the standard Lara Croft outfit of like the tank top and short shorts, and
Yeah.
we definitely got that. But then when you have the further combination of like shower scene, dropping the towel in front of the butler with like showing off quite a bit
Sure.
of like Lara Croft's side
Right.
boob,
Yeah.
and then we have, this is you already pointed out, Daniel Craig, ripped taking a shower, Laura and aforementioned Lara Croft taking a shower. It's like I can't, because if I'm looking at the plot kind of sucks, and the action scenes are pretty mediocre. So I really can't think of a reason to watch this movie other than to look at the attractive
Daniel Craig.
bodies of a couple of half-naked people. Whether that be Angelina Jolie, Daniel Craig, wherever your preference lies.
All right. Well, Quinn, do you have any better hot takes than that for us?
I don't think so. I like how you're dueling. It's very
We're pundits, remember?
yeah, I was gonna say.
At this point, we're less pundits and more caustic critics.
Yeah, I mean, I do agree with you. The plot was weak. Oh man,
How many nonsensical things have I seen that always has to deal with like planetary alignment?
oh
when I
my
was
god! And then
It's
like
when
the
I'm watching like old, like what is it, 2000s, like old Disney's Hercules, where it's like the planets align and you can release the Titans.
but then like the image they showed where it cut to like the planets aligning. You know what I'm talking about? Like when they were inside the thing and it cuts to this terrible image of the planets like aligning. It did not feel good. I did not feel like I was in space. Yeah, so I guess we'll go through things here. The sound and score of this movie. The sound mixing and stuff, fine, whatever. Like the action sounds, I didn't have any issues there. The score of this movie, holy shit, did it want to be the Matrix? I like the weird 2000s like electronica-y stuff going on. Like I felt all the like the action scenes they were trying to like kind of be like the Matrix. Like to me, I'm thinking like, oh, okay, you wanted to make a Matrix soundtrack and you did a bad job of it.
So
But
are you telling me you didn't like the electronica thing?
No, I thought it was bad. It's like they were trying to be, it's like because the Matrix does that really well. But I feel like in this movie, I'm just like, what? It just doesn't. I don't know if it's just mediocre electronica I'm listening to, or just the way it's used. It did not sound good. It didn't feel good at all. I thought the music in general I did not care for in this movie.
I didn't really notice the music at all. I don't know. I wasn't really paying attention to it. I haven't watched The Matrix enough times to know.
The music that stuck out to me was like the electronic stuff, and it was in like towards the action scenes that came up a lot. And then like through the middle, it like switched styles and wasn't any of that, and then it came back towards the end too. So,
Gotcha,
um,
gotcha.
Kind of have to
yeah,
agree with Quinn on that one. Like the music,
didn't stick out to you at all.
yeah, it just like blended into the background. Like I typically only notice music if it's like egregiously bad. If it's like so out of sync with the scene, or if it's like amazing. And this one was none of them. It just
Yeah,
blended into
I
the
wouldn't
background.
say I don't think it was egregious, but I didn't think it was good. Um, yeah. So cinematography. They really want to just make Lara Croft look like a badass, and there's so many. They're obsessed with like these close-up action shots of everything she's doing, like over and over again. Like they're always like zoom in on her grabbing that vine, zoom in on her leg while she grabs this thing. Like there's so many of these like zoom in shots, and that along with they just want to force every scene to make her look like a badass, like just all the time. And I feel like it just starts to come off as like forced, like they're like forcing it so hard that it just like becomes like I'm like I don't believe you, essentially. Like it just feels like they're trying to force it.
Yeah, I can understand that. Um, Although she is the name of the game. Remember that.
Yeah. I I get that they want to try and make her a badass, but it just feels like they try so hard to force it that I'm like, okay, get over yourself. Like the
Gotcha.
motorcycle scenes where it
Oh
just
yeah,
ah
that was
they
bad. In the garage where she does like a what, like a 360 or 180 on the
yeah
moving motorcycle.
yeah.
Yeah, I admit that might be a little egregious, but I don't know. I wasn't really getting that vibes from any other scene of the movie. Well, and maybe a little bit of the sled dog skiing, but
Yeah.
I mean, other than that, I didn't think anything was that egregiously bad with the action. I mean, Lara Croft is a badass. You play the games like you do badass things in there, and they're translating that to film as well as they can. So
I
A little bit of
suppose.
pushback.
Yeah, I don't I mean I something about it comes off as like just so in your face that it's like they're
I
treating me
believe
like
it.
I'm dumb. Like
Oh yeah.
uh,
look at how cool and beautiful she is. Did you see last scene where we showed you this?
I mean, other than the
That's a good
movie
point.
taking every opportunity it can to show us Angelina Jolie's figure, I
Right.
mean, I mean, I would agree at the very least with the way the action scenes are shot. They're not shot in the best way.
I didn't have,
But
like I thought the scene, the first of the two triangle tombs, the first one, I thought that was the best scene in the movie. I thought the dialogue was good. I thought the action worked. I thought the stone creatures worked better than any of the other things in the movie.
wait, hold on. Are
Um,
you telling me that scene was better than Daniel Craig's shower scene?
well,
Well,
I
it's
mean,
got
that's
you there.
are we calling that an action scene?
I mean, and I mean, I think Angelina Jolie. I mean, like when you looked at Laura Croft, she gave him the once over. The eye up, eye
Yeah,
down. There was
right.
some action occurring.
I do think the best actors in this movie are Daniel Craig and Ian Glenn, the Jorah Mormont guy,
Hmm.
Manfred Powell.
Yeah.
Um, it's like, and I guess this movie, like, it's not that I watch it, I'm like, oh, this is unbearably terrible. I'm just like, this is very generic. You're just like it's generic. It just focuses on like how hot Angelina Jolie is, and it's like, okay, just talk in your sexy whisper voice, but just do that all the time for like the first 30 minutes. Everyone she talks to, she's like, okay, but do it in like a sexy whisper now. And like that's just the first fucking 30 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
uh,
You know,
but
complete tangent. But did anyone else ever get like any Batman vibes when they were like doing the scenes in the mansion?
I thought that they're trying to do like a sexy whisper thing.
Well,
Um,
the reason I bring up Batman in this because it's like rich, rich action hero with dead parents,
yeah.
something of a sassy butler,
Mhm.
and apparently like a tech god.
That's true. I
That's
didn't
a good
think
point.
about that. The vibes I did get though were um Bayonetta. Like I felt like Angelina Jolie's character and like just her demeanor and the way she was walking and carrying her guns, like I the thing I got most was like she kind of is acting like Bayonetta. And I haven't played a ton of the old Tomb Raiders. I've played the newer ones. But yeah, I that was just something I picked up on.
I don't know anything about Bayonetta, so I can't confirm one way or another.
Me either. I don't. All I know is she's a Smash character. That's pretty good.
You're not wrong.
Anyway.
Yeah, so I thought that the scene I liked best was probably that first tomb, for the first triangle tomb. And some of the time stuff, like they were going towards interesting things, but just overall I didn't think it was bad. I just felt like it was so generic, like just absolutely generic with Lara Croft. Like that was it. And I can't say that it was, you know, I with me, I'm with that. I think I put it at a D. It's like the movie is a D or a C. Like it's just mega generic. So if it was really good generic, it'd be like a C. It's not. It's got a lot. So I think
Would
a
you
D.
say double D?
Wow. Wow. Oh my gosh.
Sorry.
No, it's all right. It just
it fits with the theme of the movie.
it really panders to that. The scene with the jacket in the cold, dude, it's just like I'm like, what?
Well, then she always has her mouth open, like in a weird, like,
Yeah.
Like when she's like doing her like slow motion running.
Yeah,
scenes.
it
makes you
it's fine,
uncomfortable
dude.
sometimes too.
Right. And I'm not here to tell you Angelina Jolie is not an attractive woman. I'm just here to tell you they just really want to put that in your face the whole movie. And it's like, okay, I get it.
Right. I think I'm gonna give it a D as well.
Yeah.
I think I was leaning a little more towards a D plus earlier, but the more we talked about the genericness and stuff like that, it got me thinking. So I'd say D. If you like Tomb Raider, I don't know, watch it, I guess. I'm sure you
don't
already
watch
have.
it. I'm in the don't watch category.
Okay. What about you, Goudreau? What's your rating?
I mean, I feel like it kind of depends on what aspect of the movie we're talking. If we're talking about the movie overall, well, actually, no. First, if we're talking about the fan service of the movie, this is clearly an S.
No,
for fan
give us
service.
give us your fan service rating, Goudreau. Goudreau's fan service rating.
S.
That's why I just said it. Like as far as fan service goes, this is definitely an S.
All right, we're putting that in an S in the fan service tier list.
And if you can get it on VHS, it's even better.
Absolutely, DVD. Blu-ray, like high def. I was like, but as far as the movie itself goes, I have to agree, it's a D.
All right,
Wow.
have we had a unanimous video game movie yet? Didn't we all give Final Fantasy Spirits within an F?
No.
Oh, we didn't. Oh,
no.
All right.
Well, we all did give Mortal Kombat Annihilation an F.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. All right, so we got Tomb Raider or Lara Croft Tomb Raider. That's our
2001.
Unanimous D. So I'm assuming that this is going in the D tier without any argument.
No argument.
I mean, you still got that fan service of S, so I
might
crank it up to C tier.
Dude, this is behind Uncharted. I think I liked this better than Uncharted.
Oh my!
All right.
Well, agree with that.
I know you guys wouldn't. So, all right, I guess Lara Croft Tomb Raider is in the D tier.